Hi there, my little light bulbs. So today I'm with this big old stack of books. I'm gonna be talking to you about said stack of books. This is our guest star of the episode. So as you guys know, I dabble in Wicca. I dabble in a lot of stuff, actually. I've always been interested in like paranormal, otherworldly things, but since 2016, I've really like dived deep into spirituality. And I consider it like a huge, vital part of my life and my being. And it's brought me so much happiness, and I want to share that with you guys. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this stack includes pretty much all of the books that have gotten me to where I am today. So the very first book that got me started on my journey, I actually don't have. It was a really important book to me. So I actually let a friend borrow it, and then they let a friend borrow it, and I kind of just like lost track of it. But I'm not like bummed over it. I think everyone should read this book. So yeah, it's called The Metaphorical Suicide, A Guide to Hyper-Awareness by Morg. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think he is the best writer, but the book has like a crap ton of really cool, really useful and true information. In the book, it basically talks about different levels of consciousness and awareness, and how everyone kind of has different levels of awareness and how to raise your awareness. And I'm not kidding when I say it is like the book that threw me into the spiritual world. I read this book, and then I talked to my good friend Lennox about it, and then Lennox told me stuff about auras, and that just set me off. Like that was the start of my awakening. So I super duper recommend that you guys read that. Like I said, it's kind of a hard read. I feel like he repeats himself like over and over and over again. I'm gonna try to like go in order of when I read them. This is the next book. It's literally so dirty, don't look at it. It's called The Ethical Slut. So it is a practical guide to polyamory, open relationships, and other adventures. So it's by Dossie Easton and Janet Hardy. I don't know if I've mentioned this on my channel before. I'm sure I have. I am usually polyamorous. I'm in a monogamous relationship right now. Oh, look what I just found this in a book. I was using it as like a bookmark. It's from November 6th, 2016. That must be when I first started reading this. It's pictures of me and my friend Moon. Oh my God. Look, that's me with long hair. I'm in the middle. Aren't I so cute? But yeah, this book is just about sexual awakening, the different kind of relationships you can have, and why it's okay to pursue kind of like a non-conventional relationship. And it just made me feel really good like about myself, and really open and able to be open with my partners. I think even if you aren't interested in polyamory or you're in a monogamous relationship, I still think you should read this book, just because it gave me a lot of like tools to just communicate openly with my sexual partner. I literally love books, you guys. Like I have so many books I haven't even read yet. These next two books have been super helpful to me in being mindful and aware and present, and have helped a lot with my anxiety. They're both by Thich Nhat Hanh. This one is called Breathe You Are Alive, and this one is called You Are Here. In this book, he talks about how important breathing is, and being in control of your breath, or being aware of your breath, which is a staple of meditation. And after I read it, it gave me like a much better control over my mind and how I felt in like the world around me. Breathing is very important, guys. I don't know if you know that. It's very vital in like ways that aren't obvious. This one talks about how mindfulness is literally like path to freedom. I say this to myself all the time. I even have a magnet of this. You are here, like in this moment right now. You are alive, and you are watching me talk. So hello, welcome to the present moment. Next, this isn't quite in order. I read this when I was in high school. This is the Satanic Bible. Hear me out. I was a Satanist for 2 years in high school, and if you haven't done research on it, you probably don't even know what that means. It does not mean that I worship Satan. In fact, it means I don't even believe in Satan. So I'll give you a quick little rundown. Believing in Satan means you are Christian, because Christians have the idea of like God and the devil, right? So if someone's worshiping Satan, they're technically a part of Christianity. So the reason it's called Satanism is they use Satan as a symbol of uniqueness and kind of like rebellion, like not just going with whatever you're told. If you read this, I would definitely take it with a grain of salt. So most of the Satanic commandments are like super cool and easy to apply in everyday life, and actually very similar to Christianity's 10 Commandments. I think I got into it just because I had a boyfriend who was into it, and I remember like the day I Googled it to see what it was all actually about, because I was like, oh my God, my boyfriend's a devil worshiper. And I Googled it, and then I was like, oh, not that edgy at all. But yeah, it's not scary. It's not a sin to Google what Satanism is, so get to Googling. Next is the teachings of Buddha. So if you're paying attention, you know most of my beliefs stem from Christianity, that's what I grew up with, Satanism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. Now it's all being kind of like mashed up into Wicca. But the teachings of Buddha, it's like a really easy book to read. You know, like if you don't know stuff about Buddhism or Buddha, give this one a try. Next book is gonna sound a little silly. It's The Complete Idiot's Guide to Connecting with Your Angels. So this book, oh, let me tell you, it's like the real deal. I am naturally intuitive to things like that, but this book, I think, had a part in making my house haunted. Like, the information is super cool, and I was able to connect with what I thought were spirit guides. They still might be spirit guides, but now, having lived in like 2 or 3 haunted places, I don't talk to other beings anymore. But it's super cool if you're into spirit guides. I would be very careful when talking to other beings. This book offers like real things that you can do to like talk to them and connect with them, and how to recognize when they're trying to connect with you. It's by Cicely Channer and Damon Brown. This next book is called Spiritual Balancing, a guidebook for living in the light. It's by Diana Burney. I don't think I actually finished this book. I just remember reading like maybe half of it and being like blown away with how helpful it was. As you guys probably know, I have depression and anxiety, but yeah, I struggle with it a lot. So I'm always looking for ways to help myself, because I've tried therapy, I didn't like it, and I don't want to be on medication. So I jump at anything that like might help me. And so far in spirituality, I have for sure found that it helps me so much. Like, if you knew me in high school, I'm a completely different person. I didn't even know who I was in high school. I guess that goes for a lot of people. I don't know, like since I've been in my 20s, I've just realized like, wow, I wasn't even a person until a couple years ago. I didn't even know who I was or what I wanted to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but nope. So yeah, this book is good if you have like depression or something. It helps just keep like your spirit, your mind, and your body all happy and aligned and just feeling good. So these next 2 books are a trip, and you gotta trust me. Well, I guess you don't have to trust me, because I don't actually know if these books are real, but they resonate with me really deeply. So in my reality, in my universe where I exist, they're real. So if you're into spirituality, you literally have to read this book. I don't even think you can say you're into spirituality if you haven't read this book. That might be a reach, so I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's how important it is to me. It is called The Raw Material, The Law of One, Book 1. So yeah, there's multiple books. I've only read this one. It is by Ra, the humble messenger of the Law of One. So Ra is the name of a being / beings from another dimension. So they are on the dimension, I believe, just above us. So they have like graduated from our dimension, and they're in the next one where they have infinite consciousness, so they're connected to everyone else's consciousness. So that would be like, if I learned something, you would already know it. So in this book, it starts out, this research team is like trying to figure out UFOs and aliens, but they stumble across Ra. And this whole book is just interviewing Ra, asking questions about the meaning of life and why we're here and what happens after. And Ra just answering, like, honestly, to the best of their ability. It is sort of hard to read because sometimes you're like, what did you just say? So like this, they're like asking about the pyramids and stuff, and like the shape of the pyramids, and if it has anything to do with the pyramids' functions, who made the pyramids. Like any question you could think to ask an all-knowing being, they ask. And Ra has answers. Sometimes Ra doesn't answer just because it would infringe upon our free will, and that's a big deal for our dimension. So they're the humble messenger of the Law of One, meaning they are here to give us the message that we're all one. We're one with everything. So yeah, all the hippies in the 70s, they had it right. So like me and you and the trees outside and all these books, we all come from the same source. We're just like vibrating at different speeds, which in our dimension's brains, we think of it as separate things, but we're not actually separate from anything. So that's a good reason people say treat people how you want to be treated, because you are kind of treating yourself like that. Another thing that they try in this book is get people to talk about like past lives or where they've come from. And some of these people, their past life like weren't even on this planet. So they're just talking about other planets, and they come from higher dimensions to like help out in our dimension. It's just super cool. I could literally talk all day about it, but I won't. I'll spare you. But if you're into spirituality, if you want to be in spirituality, this has to be like in the top 3 books. And don't just read it once, read it like 2 or 3 times and highlight it and take notes and sticky notes and really absorb the information, because it is like, I got this book too. It's very similar. It's called More Conversations with God. So I think there was like a first edition that was just Conversations with God. It's by Neale Donald Walsch. It's very similar to the raw material. I think it's just more from a Christianity standpoint, maybe. I haven't read all of it just because like it's pretty big, but it's same thing, just asking like another worldly being questions about Earth, so we understand what the hell is going on here. And so the next 2 books I have are specifically about Wicca. This is called Wikipedia, and it's by Sean Robbins and Leanna Greenway. And this is called Basic Witches. It's by Jaya Saxena and Jess Zimmerman. This book is super cool. It's literally like a how-to everything Wicca, like basic Wicca, but it was super helpful. Basic Witches, this is also really basic. I was a little disappointed in how basic it was. I should have read deeper into it before I bought it. I'd say if you're just now getting into Wicca, to get this one first and read it, and then get this one second and read it. It talks about altars and candle spells and like text message spells and cool stuff like that. I'm like out of breath from talking about all these books. I honestly love reading, you guys. I don't get to read enough, but like in high school, middle school, when I actually had time to do things, I would read for like at least 2 or 3 hours a day. And now I get lucky if I get to read like 10 minutes a month. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you guys are interested in any of these books, comment down below and I might send it to you depending on which book it is. But like I was saying earlier, like these books help me so much, and I don't want to just like hoard all the tappy information. I want to share it with you guys. So you can DM me on Instagram or comment down below if you want one of the books. I might be able to send it to you. I'm not gonna lie, like this book, I'm not giving up, sorry. Pretty much all the others I'm willing to give away to you guys, so you guys can broaden your horizons. Thank you guys for watching me ramble about all my favorite books. It's been very fun, and I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.